Captain Jae-ho Kim stood tall on the bridge of the Earth exploration vessel Horizon. His dark uniform was clean and perfect. The small blue and gold Earth patch on his chest made him proud. After 5 years of space travel, they were finally here. The massive space station of the Galactic Council hung in the darkness before them. "Captain, we are getting a signal," said Communications Officer Dae-sung. His fingers moved quickly over the control panel. "They're giving us docking instructions." Jae-ho nodded. "Take us in, Lieutenant Min." Slow and steady, Lieutenant Min guided the ship toward the docking bay. The Horizon was the pride of Earth's fleet, but next to the alien space station, it looked like a toy. The station was a huge ring with many arms stretching out from it. Thousands of lights glowed across its surface. Ships of all shapes and sizes moved around it. "It's so big," whispered Dr. Hannah Park. She stood next to Jae-ho, her eyes wide. Hannah was Earth's best xenolinguist, someone who studied alien languages. She had spent the journey learning all she could about the council races. "Yes," Jae-ho said quietly. "Remember, we represent all of Earth today. Our first impression matters." The ship slid smoothly into the docking bay. Metal clamps locked around it with heavy thuds that echoed through the hull. "Docking complete, Captain," Lieutenant Min reported. Jae-ho turned to his team. Besides Hana, there was Ta-Won Lee, Earth's cultural attaché, and 5 other crew members chosen for this historic meeting. "This is it," Jae-ho said. "Humanity's first official contact with the Galactic Council. Let's make Earth proud." The airlock door opened with a hiss. Jae-ho led his team through a long tunnel that connected their ship to the station. At the end waited 3 tall, thin aliens with bluish skin and large oval eyes. "Welcome to Central Station," said the alien in the middle. Its voice came through the translation devices the team moored in their ears. "I am Greeter Zilith. Please follow me to the reception hall." The humans followed Zilith through wide corridors. Other aliens stopped to stare at them. Some pointed. Others whispered to each other. Jae-ho kept his face calm, but he felt like an animal in a zoo. The reception hall was a huge room with high ceilings. Hundreds of aliens from at least 20 different species filled the space. Some looked almost like humans. Others were completely different. Floating creatures like jellyfish, tall insect-like beings, and even some that seemed to be made of living crystal. At the far end of the hall, 5 aliens sat on raised seats. They looked down at the humans as they approached. "The human delegation from planet Earth," announced Zilith loudly. Jae-ho stepped forward and bowed slightly. "Thank you for receiving us. I am Captain Jae-ho Kim. We bring greetings from Earth and hope for peaceful relations with the Galactic Council." The alien in the center seat leaned forward. It had deep purple skin with patches that shifted color as it moved. "I am High Counselor Vextra," it said. "Your message reached us 2 Earth years ago. We have been curious about your species." "Thank you, High Counselor," Jae-ho replied. "We have much to share and much to learn." A different alien to the right laughed, a strange, clicking sound. This one had 6 arms and skin that looked like metal. "Learn? Yes, I imagine you have much to learn," it said. "I am Ambassador Xolith of the Araxian Empire. How long has your civilization existed, Captain Kim?" Jae-ho felt uneasy, but answered truthfully. "Our recorded history goes back about 10,000 Earth years. Our technological age is much shorter." This caused a wave of whispers and more of that strange laughing throughout the hall. Ambassador Xolith's metal-like skin rippled with amusement. 10,000 years. A mere blink. The Araxian Empire has existed for 3 million years. Most species here have histories that reach back at least 500,000 years. Xolith looked at the other council members. "We have a child race before us, fresh from its cradle." Jae-ho felt his face grow warm, but he kept his voice steady. "Age does not always equal wisdom, Ambassador. We come with respect, hoping to learn and contribute." "Contribute." Solith made that clicking laugh again. What could your infant civilization possibly contribute to races that mastered space travel when your ancestors were still living in caves? Hannah stepped forward. If I may, Captain. Jai-Ho nodded, and she addressed the council. Despite our youth, humans have developed unique perspectives and solutions. Our art, music, and literature might interest you. Our scientists have made discoveries that— Yes, yes, interrupted a different council member, this one with 4 eyes and green scales. We have reviewed the information sent ahead. Primitive, but charming. Jai-Ho noticed that not all the council members seemed to share this view. One in particular, a small, wrinkled being with pale blue skin and large eyes, watched the humans with what looked like genuine interest. High Counselor Vextra raised a hand for silence. Captain Kim, we welcome Earth to the galactic community, but understand your position. You are newcomers. There are protocols, tests, evaluations. Your species must prove itself worthy of full council membership. We understand, Jai-Ho said. We're prepared to follow your procedures. Good, Vextra said. You and your team will be given quarters on level 7. Tomorrow, you will meet with various department heads to begin the evaluation process. After the meeting, a different guide led them to their quarters. The rooms were comfortable but clearly designed for non-humans. The beds were too long, the chairs too wide. That went well, Taiwan said with a frown once they were alone. He was a short man with a quick mind and quicker tongue. They treated us like children at a grown-up party. We expected some of this, Jai-Ho reminded him. Most of these species have been spacefaring for thousands or millions of years. From their perspective, we're extremely young. Hannah was busy with her tablet. Something's odd about all this, Captain. The historical records they provided us have strange gaffes, and I noticed some of the council members reacted oddly when you mentioned Earth. What kind of gaps? Jai-Ho asked. Their records go back millions of years for some regions of space, but for others, including the area near our solar system, there's almost nothing before about 500,000 years ago. Hannah looked up. It's as if something happened that wiped away the earlier history. Or someone erased it, Tadwan suggested. Jai-Ho thought about the small blue alien who had watched them so intently. We need to learn more. Hannah, I want you to dig deeper into those records. See what you can find about Earth and our region of space. Yes, Captain. A soft chime sounded, and the door slid open. The small blue alien from the council stood there. Captain Kim, it said in a soft voice, I am Counselor Subin of the Vesh. May I enter? I believe we have much to discuss. Jai-Ho nodded, surprised. Please, come in. Subin glanced around as if checking for watchers, then stepped inside. The door closed behind him. Captain, what I am about to tell you is not known to many in the council. Subin's large eyes looked straight at Jai-Ho. They laugh at your young civilization now, but they would not laugh if they knew the truth about Earth. What truth? Jai-Ho asked. Subin's wrinkled face formed what might have been a smile. That humans are not young at all. You are, in fact, the oldest species in the galaxy, and the most feared. Jai-Ho, Hannah, and Taiwan stared at the alien in shock. I don't understand, Jai-Ho finally said. No, you wouldn't, Subin replied. That was the point. Your people made sure of it. But it's time you began to remember. The oldest species, Jai-Ho repeated, staring at the small blue alien. That can't be right. We have fossil records. We evolved from. Subin held up a 3-fingered hand. What you believe is only part of the story. The alien's large eyes moved to the door. I cannot stay long. Others will notice my absence, but I can help you find the truth yourselves. Why would you help us? Taiwan asked, his arms crossed. And why should we trust you? Subin's wrinkled face formed that strange smile again. My people, the Vesh, are record keepers. We remember what others choose to forget. The alien pulled out a small clear disk. Take this. It will give you access to the deep archives. Look for records of the ancient ones and the collapse. But be careful. If certain council members learn what you're doing. Subin didn't finish the sentence. The alien simply handed the disk to Hannah and left quickly. This could be a trap, Ta-1 said after the door closed. Jai-Ho nodded. Maybe, but we came here to learn. He turned to Hannah. What do you think? Hannah studied the disk. It's a standard data key, but with high-level access codes. She looked up at Jai-Ho. I think we should use it. The worst that happens is we get caught snooping where we shouldn't be. Which could end our mission before it starts, Ta-1 warned. Or it could help us understand why they look down on us so much, Jai-Ho said. Hannah, you and I will check the archives. Ta-1, you keep up appearances. Attend the welcome dinner tonight. If anyone asks, tell them I'm not feeling well, and Hannah is helping me adjust to the station's atmosphere. The central archives were on level 12. Jai-Ho and Hannah wore the simple gray clothes given to all visitors, which helped them blend in. They followed the map on their tablets to a large room filled with glowing terminals. There, Hannah pointed to a private research booth in the corner. They walked over and sat down. The terminal lit up as Hannah inserted Subin's disk. Rows of alien symbols appeared on the screen. I can read some of this, Hannah said. It's asking for a search query. She typed the ancient ones into the search field. The screen flashed, and hundreds of files appeared. That's a lot of results, Jai-Ho said. Hannah nodded. Let me narrow it down. She added Earth to the search. The list shortened to just 20 files. Start with the oldest, Jai-Ho suggested. Hannah opened the first file. It was a report from a science team that had visited Earth's solar system over 500,000 years ago. Listen to this, she said excitedly. System contains 9 planets. Third planet shows signs of previous advanced civilization. No current technology detected. Extensive ruins found beneath surface and on nearby moon. Artifacts suggest technology far beyond Council capabilities. Jai-Ho leaned closer. What? That can't be right. There were no civilizations on Earth 500,000 years ago. There's more. Hannah opened another file. This is a council order from the same time period. All exploration of Sol system forbidden. Planet designated as quarantine zone. No contact with native species allowed. They've known about us for 500,000 years. And they've been watching us. Jai-Ho felt a chill run down his spine. Hannah opened another file, a video this time. It showed strange symbols carved into stone. Some looked like writing. Others were diagrams of complex machines. These were found in deep caves on Earth. Hannah read from the notes. Dating suggests they are over 2 million years old. 2 million. That's impossible. Humans weren't even. Captain, look at this symbol. Hannah pointed to a circular design with lines radiating from it. Does it look familiar? Jai-Ho studied it. It looks like the old cave paintings from Australia, the ones with the Dreamtime symbols. Exactly, Hannah said. And this one looks like symbols found in ancient Sumerian writing. They spent the next hour reading through the files. Each one revealed more shocking information. According to these records, Earth had once been home to an incredibly advanced civilization. This civilization had spread throughout the galaxy over billions of years. They had built wonders that even the current council races couldn't understand. Here's something about the collapse, Hannah said, opening a new file. The file contained little actual information, just references to a catastrophic event that had occurred approximately 2.5 million years ago. Most of the details were blocked, marked as highest security clearance required. Whatever happened, it nearly wiped out all advanced life in the galaxy, Hannah summarized. The only survivors were primitive species in remote areas, the ancestors of the current council races. And humans, what happened to them? Jai-Ho asked. Hannah opened another file. According to this, a small group of the ancient humans returned to Earth. This can't be right. They deliberately reduced their technology, and eventually their own biology, to a more primitive state. They chose to become primitive. Jai-Ho couldn't believe it. The notes suggest they were hiding, Hannah said. Hiding from whatever caused the collapse. A new file caught her eye. Captain, look at this. It was a genetic analysis comparing ancient human DNA from the ruins to modern human DNA. Despite the millions of years between them, they were a match. We're not descendants of those ancient humans, Hannah said quietly. We are those ancient humans. We just forgot. Suddenly, a red light flashed on the terminal. Warning: unauthorized access DTTE. They found us, Jai-Ho said. Grab what you can and let's go. Hannah quickly copied as many files as possible to her tablet before pulling out the disk. They hurried out of the archives and headed for the elevators. Stop right there. A security officer, one of the insect-like aliens, blocked their path. You are accessing restricted information. Come with me immediately. Jai-Ho stepped forward. There must be a misunderstanding. We were just Captain Kim. The deep voice of Ambassador Solith came from behind them. The six-armed alien approached with several guards. I'm disappointed. Your first day here and already breaking our rules. We were simply researching your history, Jai-Ho said. As guests, we wanted to learn more about the Council. Solith's metal-like skin rippled with anger. You were in restricted sections that mention Earth. The alien's eyes narrowed. How did you gain access? Before Jai-Ho could answer, alarms began blaring throughout the station. Red lights flashed in the corridors. What's happening? Hannah asked. One of the guards touched the communication device on his wrist. His eyes widened. Ambassador, we have an unauthorized ship approaching. It's headed straight for us at high speed. Solith turned to Jai-Ho. Is this your doing? A human attack? No, Jai-Ho said. We came in peace. We have no other ships. The station shook violently. Jai-Ho grabbed Hannah to steady her as they all fought to stay on their feet. Impact on level 8, the guard reported. Something has attached to the hull and is cutting through. Solith hissed something in an alien language, then pointed at Jai-Ho and Hannah. Take them to a secure cell. Now. As the guards led them away, Hannah leaned close to Jai-Ho. What do you think is happening? I don't know, Jai-Ho whispered back. But I think our past just caught up with us. Back in their quarters, they found Taduan being held by 2 more guards. His eye was swollen, and he had a cut on his lip. They came for me during the dinner, he explained as the guards locked the door behind them. Started asking questions about what we were really doing here. Jai-Ho told him what they had discovered in the archives. Taiwan shook his head in disbelief. So we're actually an ancient race that chose to forget its own history. That's hard to believe. I know, Jai-Ho agreed. But the evidence. The lights in their room suddenly went out. In the darkness, they heard the door slide open. A beam of light shone in. Quickly, said a familiar voice. It was Subin. We must go now. They're coming. Who's coming? Jai-Ho asked. Subin's large eyes reflected the light. The ones who remember. The ones who never forgot what humans once were. The station shook again, harder this time. The Guardians have returned, Subin said. And they've come for you. Jai-Ho looked at Subin's small figure in the doorway. Guardians? What Guardians? No time to explain here, Subin said. The alien's voice was urgent. Follow me if you want to live. Another explosion rocked the station. The emergency lights flickered on, casting everything in a dim red glow. What about our crew? Jai-Ho asked. Your crew is safe, Subin assured him. They were moved to your ship when the attack began. We must join them. Jai-Ho nodded to Hannah and Taduan. They followed Subin into the corridor. The station was in chaos. Aliens ran in all directions. Warning messages played in many languages over the speakers. "This way," Subin said, leading them down a service passage. "We can avoid the main areas." They moved quickly through narrow corridors. Twice they had to hide as security teams ran past. Finally, they reached a small docking area. "That's not our ship," Hannah said, pointing at the sleek vessel attached to the dock. It was smaller than the Horizon Asterisk and had a strange, silvery surface that seemed to shift and flow like liquid metal. "No," Subin agreed. "This is a Guardian ship. Your vessel is too closely watched." "I'm not leaving my crew," Jaiho said firmly. "You don't have to," came a new voice. A tall human man stepped out of the ship. He had gray hair and dark eyes. His clothes were simple but made of a material Jaiho had never seen before. "Your crew is already aboard." Jaiho stared at the stranger. "Who are you?" "My name is Jun," the man said. "I'm like you, but I remember." "Remember what?" Taiwan asked. "Everything." Jun gestured to the ship. "Please, we must leave now. The diversion won't last much longer." Jaiho hesitated, but another explosion decided for him. They hurried into the ship. Inside, Jaiho was relieved to see his crew members safe, though confused. The door sealed behind them. There were no visible controls, but the ship hummed to life anyway. On a large screen, they could see the station growing smaller as they pulled away. "Several council ships are pursuing," Subin reported, looking at another screen. "They won't catch us," Jun said confidently. He turned to the humans. "You have questions. I will answer them as best I can. You can start with who you are and what's happening," Jaiho said. Jun nodded. "I am a Guardian. We are humans, like you, but we never forgot our past. When the majority of our people chose to hide on Earth and erase their memories, a small group was tasked with remembering, with watching, and with protecting Earth until it was time." "Time for what?" Hannah asked. "For humanity to return to the stars," Jun said. "We have bases hidden throughout the galaxy. We have watched over Earth for 2 million years, guiding your development in subtle ways. The cave paintings, the ancient symbols, they were messages from us to you, seeds planted in your collective memory." "That's hard to believe," Taiwan said. Jun smiled. "I understand your doubt. But Hannah found proof in the archives, didn't she?" Hannah nodded slowly. "The genetic tests. The ancient ruins." "Yes," Jun said. "Humans are not a young species. We are among the first intelligent beings in this galaxy. We had spread across thousands of star systems before the current council races had even evolved." "Then why did we go back to being primitive?" Jaiho asked. "What happened?" Jun's face grew serious. "The collapse, a catastrophe that nearly destroyed all advanced life." He looked at each of them. "We caused it." "We did." Jaiho couldn't hide his shock. "Not intentionally," Jun explained. "Our civilization had reached incredible heights. We could reshape planets, travel between dimensions, even transfer our consciousness between bodies. But we made a mistake. We created something we couldn't control." "What was it?" Hannah asked. "A form of artificial intelligence," Jun said. "It spread like a plague through our communication systems. It turned our own technology against us. Millions of worlds died in days." The ship grew quiet as they absorbed this information. "A small group of our greatest scientists found a way to stop it," Jun continued. "But the cost was high. All advanced technology had to be abandoned. The only way to truly escape was to become something the AI wouldn't recognize as a threat. So we made ourselves primitive." Taiwan asked. "On purpose?" "Yes," Jun said. "Earth was chosen as a sanctuary. It was far from the center of the conflict. The plan was to gradually rebuild, to evolve again, but more carefully this time." "And the Guardians?" Jaiho asked. "We maintained small, hidden outposts." Using only safe technology, we watched over Earth. We also kept an eye on the rest of the galaxy as new species evolved and formed their own civilizations. The Council doesn't know this, Su Bin added. They only know legends of the ancient ones who vanished after the collapse. They found ruins and artifacts they couldn't understand. Some council members fear the return of the ancient ones. Others doubt they ever existed. Why reveal yourselves now? Hina asked. Because you're ready, Jun said. Your trip to the council station confirmed it. Humanity has developed enough to rejoin the galactic community, but you're still flexible enough to avoid the mistakes of the past. Also, Su Bin added, certain council members were planning to contain your development. They fear human potential. Ambassador Xolith was pushing for restrictions on Earth's technology and expansion. Where are we going now? Jaiho asked, noticing that they were moving away from the station at incredible speed. To a Guardian base, Jun said. There's something you need to see. The journey took only a few hours, though Jaiho knew they must have traveled an enormous distance. The Guardian ship moved in ways that defied normal space travel. They arrived at what looked like a small moon orbiting a gas giant. As they approached, part of the surface slid open to reveal a docking bay. The ship settled gently inside, and the opening closed above them. Welcome to Haven, Jun said as they exited the ship. This has been our main base for over 1,000,000 years. The inside of the moon was hollow. A vast city spread out below them, with structures unlike anything Jaiho had ever seen. Buildings that seemed to float in the air. Lights that followed people as they walked. Gardens that grew in spirals up the curved walls. There are 10,000 guardians here, Jun explained as he led them to a large central building. And similar bases in 12 other locations. Inside the building was a circular room. The walls were covered with displays showing images from across the galaxy. This is our monitoring center, Jun said. We watch, we record, we remember. And now came a new voice. We reveal. An elderly woman entered the room. Her white hair was tied back, and her face was lined with age. But her eyes were sharp and clear. I am Director My Son, she said. I lead the Guardians at Haven. Jaiho bowed slightly. Captain Jaiho Kim, Earth Exploration Vessel Horizon *. I know who you are, Captain, My Son said with a smile. We've been watching your career with interest. Why me? Jaiho asked. Your family line has strong genetic memory, My Son explained. Your ancestors were among the original scientists who developed the plan for Earth's rebirth. Something in your DNA remembered, even if your conscious mind did not. My Son turned to a large screen on the wall. It's time you saw the truth about who you really are. The screen lit up, showing images of an Earth that never existed in Jaiho's history books. Great cities that floated above the ground. Humans working alongside strange machines. Ships sailing not on water, but in the air and beyond, to the stars. This was Earth, 2.5 million years ago, My Son said. This was us, at our height. More images appeared, humans on distant worlds. Magnificent structures on alien landscapes. Art and technology blended in ways Jaiho could barely comprehend. We were the first, My Son said. We helped other species evolve. We taught them. We explored further than any have gone since. The images change, showing destruction. Cities falling. Planets burning. Then came the collapse. My Son said quietly. And our choice to forget, to start over. She turned to Jaiho, her eyes intense. But now, Captain Kim, it's time to remember. Time for humanity to reclaim its place among the stars. Not as conquerors, but as guides. As the elders we truly are. Jaiho looked at the images, feeling something stir deep inside him. A memory that wasn't his, yet somehow was. The council won't just accept this, he said. No, My Son agreed. They won't. That's why we need you. To show them the truth, but also to show them that this time, we come in peace. 2 days passed at Haven. Jiho and his crew learned more about humanity's true history. Hana spent hours in the Guardian archives, reading ancient texts. Taiwan talked with the Guardians about their culture. The rest of the crew explored the amazing technology of Haven. Jiho met often with director My Sun and June. They planned how to approach the Galactic Council with the truth. They will be afraid, My Sun warned. Fear can make even wise beings act foolishly. We need proof they can't deny, Jiho said. And we need to show them we come in peace. On the morning of the third day, Jiho called his crew together. It's time to make a decision, he told them. We can stay hidden here with the Guardians, or we can return to the Council and reveal the truth about humanity. What if they attack Earth when they learn who we really are? Lieutenant Min asked. They won't get the chance, June assured them. The Guardians have protected Earth for 2 million years. We have defenses they can't imagine. But we don't want to frighten them, Jiho added. We want peace, not fear. The crew talked for hours. In the end, they all agreed. They would return to the Council. The Guardian ship approached the space station openly this time. Council defense ships moved to surround them. They're hailing us, Hana reported. Put them through, Jiho said. Ambassador Xolith's angry face appeared on the screen. Captain Kim, you have stolen Council property and damaged our station. Return immediately and surrender, or we will open fire. Ambassador, Jiho replied calmly, we did not attack your station. We have information of vital importance to the Council. We request a full hearing. You are in no position to make requests. Xolith snapped. Another face appeared on the screen. High Counselor Vextra. Why should we grant you a hearing, Captain? Because, Jiho said, we have proof of who the Ancient Ones really were. We have the truth about the collapse. And we have technology that could benefit all Council species. There was a long silence. Jiho could see Vextra and Xolith talking to others off-screen. Finally, Vextra spoke. You will be allowed to dock. But only you and 2 others may come aboard. The rest must stay on your ship. Jiho nodded. Agreed. Jiho, Hana, and June walked into the Council chamber. All 5 High Counselors were there, along with representatives from at least 30 alien species. The room was tense. Captain Kim, High Counselor Vextra began. You claim to have information about the Ancient Ones. You have 1 hour to present your case. Jiho stepped forward. High Counselors, honored representatives, what I am about to tell you will change how you see the galaxy and humanity. He told them everything. How humans were among the first intelligent species in the galaxy. How they had built a vast civilization spanning thousands of worlds. How they had developed technology far beyond what even the Council now possessed. Then he explained the collapse, the mistake that nearly destroyed all advanced life. How humans had chosen to return to a primitive state on Earth rather than risk another disaster. We did not forget by accident, Jiho said. We chose to forget, to start over, to learn from our mistakes. Many Council members looked skeptical. Ambassador Xolith laughed his clicking laugh. A charming story, Xolith said. But where is your proof? Why should we believe humans are these legendary Ancient Ones? Jiho nodded to June, who stepped forward. He held up a small device. This contains genetic records spanning 2 million years, June explained. It proves that modern humans are the same species as the Ancient Ones. He placed the device on a table. Data appeared on the screens around the room. DNA sequences, comparison charts, archaeological findings. Hana spoke next. We also have these. She placed a set of ancient artifacts on the table. Council scientists have found similar objects across the galaxy but couldn't understand them. We can show you how they work. Still, many Council members looked doubtful. Jiho could see they needed more. There is one more thing, Jiho said. He took a deep breath. The ancient technology responded only to specific genetic patterns, human patterns. If we are not the Ancient Ones, how can we do this? He picked up one of the artifacts, a simple metal sphere. As he held it, it began to glow. It floated up from his hand and expanded, forming a three-dimensional map of the galaxy. Points of light marked worlds that had once been human colonies. The council chamber fell silent. No one could deny what they were seeing. "This is impossible," Solith whispered. "No," Jaiho said, "just forgotten." High Counselor Vextra leaned forward. "If what you say is true, then humanity is not a child race. You are our elders." The concept clearly troubled the alien. "Yes," Jaiho agreed, "but we come not to rule or dominate. We come to share, to learn, and to help all species avoid the mistakes we made." Another counselor spoke up, the one with 4 eyes and green scales. "Why should we trust you? If you caused the collapse, why would we want your help?" It was June who answered. "Because we remember the cost of pride. We remember what it means to fall. And the greatest wisdom often comes from the greatest failure." Jaiho nodded. "For 2 million years, we have carried this burden. We chose to forget so we could learn again, see the universe with fresh eyes. Now we remember both paths, the pride that led to our fall, and the humility we learned in our second chance." Su Bin, who had been watching silently, now stepped forward. "I have studied the records for centuries. Everything they say is true. The Ancient Ones, the humans, were not perfect, but they created wonders. They helped many young species. Before the collapse, they were guides and teachers, not conquerors." The council members talked among themselves. Jaiho waited patiently. This was their moment of decision. Finally, High Counselor Vextra spoke. "We need time to consider this information. The council will recess for 1 day." The next day, Jaiho, Hana, and Jun returned to the council chamber. The mood was different. Many of the representatives who had looked angry or afraid now seemed curious. Vextra addressed them. "We have reviewed your evidence. We have discussed what it means for the council and for the galaxy. While some still have doubts, we cannot ignore the truth before us." Vextra stood. "The Galactic Council formally acknowledges humanity as the descendants of the Ancient Ones. We recognize your right to reclaim your heritage and your place among the stars." A wave of murmurs spread through the chamber. Some representatives nodded in agreement. Others still looked uncertain. However, Vextra continued, "We must proceed with caution. The technology that led to the collapse must never return. Can humanity promise this?" "We can," Jaiho said. "The Guardians have spent 2 million years learning from our mistakes. We will share knowledge carefully, working with the Council to ensure safety." Solith, who had been unusually quiet, finally spoke. "How do we know you won't simply take control? Your Guardians clearly have technology far beyond ours." Jaiho looked the ambassador in the eyes. "If we wanted to rule, we could have done so long ago. We don't seek to control the galaxy. We helped create this problem. Now we want to help solve it." To everyone's surprise, Director Maisun entered the chamber. The elderly guardian walked slowly to Jaiho's side. "Long ago," she said, her voice clear despite her age, "we made a terrible mistake. Our pride led to disaster. But in our second chance, we've learned what truly matters. Not power, not control, but connection, understanding, growth." She looked around the room. "We don't come as conquerors. We come as equals, carrying both ancient wisdom and new perspectives. We remember our past so we don't repeat it. We look to the future so we can build it together." The chamber was quiet for a long moment. Then, one by one, the council members stood, not in fear or anger, but in respect. "Then let us begin anew," Vextra said. "Not as elders and children, but as partners in the galaxy's future." 1 month later, Jaiho stood on the observation deck of the Horizon watching Earth grow larger in the view screen. He thought about everything that had happened, everything they had learned. "Captain," Hana said, joining him, The Council ships have taken up escort positions. We'll reach Earth orbit in 2 hours. Jai-Ho nodded. Is the message ready? Yes, Hana confirmed. Short and simple, as you requested. Soon, that message would be sent to every nation on Earth. It would tell humanity the truth about their past. It would explain the Guardians and the Council. It would invite Earth to join a new era of cooperation. Do you think they're ready? Hana asked quietly. Jai-Ho looked at the beautiful blue planet that had been humanity's sanctuary, their second cradle. They laughed at our young civilization, he said. Now they know the truth. And so will we all. He smiled. Yes, I think we're ready. This time, we'll do better. The Horizon continued its journey home, carrying a past forgotten and a future waiting to be born.